Welcome to Monkey and Frank. My name is Do, and my body is Dom. I am love. I am safe. I am wise. I am mother. I am God. I am the awareness. I am everything. I am nothing. So welcome to this podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking and continuing my journey, integrating my experience from Peru. Crazy experience. If you haven't seen or heard, the previous podcast, you might be a little bit confused, but it's all good. We're going to be talking about some of my trips with the mushroom, LSD, cannabis, and even breath work. We will be talking a little bit about philosophy and my way of thinking. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the here and now. There is nothing in my life that is more important than here and now. And for me, what that means is to be here and now is to be in the awareness of your body. If you haven't heard in the part 5, I believe, or part 6, the mushroom ceremony that I did, that showed me how much I disliked my body, how much this entire existence of my life I did not enjoy, because I did not enjoy being inside this vessel. Now, I didn't know that I was separate from this body. I didn't know that this body needed to be witnessed in a way that was separate from me, in a way that I needed to honor it for it is mother. Like, for me, mother is life. Life, this 3Dness that we're living, this biology, this science-based universe where Einstein theories and math and language exist. Well, this place, for me, I call this illusion mother. And inside this illusion, there's also my feelings, my thoughts, creativity, my ideas, things that I see on TV. Every single thing, even you guys, are basically, in my point of view, mother. Because the body belongs to mother. Us, what I believe is we are a reflection of God. And we come to this place and we witness mother, observe mother, create with our energy, our soul. When we push forward in this life, you can imagine the point of a knife or the point of an arrow. That's us, the human body, everything that's coming out of existence. But everything behind is source, and source is made of love, made of God. God, the energy of that pushes us forward. It's a state, it's something greater than us. So as I live my life in the here and now, it is super important that I'm aware of what my body is going through, because my body, my feelings, my thoughts are not my thoughts. They need to be observed so that they can teach me everything that I need to know to grow in this life, in this spiritual life, in this life of materialism, abundance, Deepak Chopra style. For me, the here and now is everything. Because if you want to experience the future, it's only here and now we can do it, with our creativity, with our mind, with our soul, so that we can picture the future and be able to envision something that comes from source and build it through these body and these DNA machines that we have. And the other way is about the past. The only way to experience the past is in the here and now. I feel like I grew up without remembering, because life, as soon as you were born, you forget. And this forgetting made us, I don't know how to explain it. It made us get confused, and it made me get attached to this body as if it was mine. And because of that, I grew a fear of death. I grew a fear of not having enough, and to see around me die and seeing that life is unfair, people suffer, there's hunger. I'm part of the 1%. How insane is this? I am suffering on the daily, right? So the here and now allows me to remember that everything is perfect. Everything that I see in front of me is and was and will be created by me in my awareness until the end of time. Even after that, I believe that my awareness will continue to grow as things do, evolve, transform, mutate, transmute, whatever you want to call it. Even though there's, a forgetting of when we experience Earth or maybe other dimensions, but we will always come back to Source. We will always go back to God, and that is so important. So in my journey that I explained in the previous podcast, I was at the point where I finally saw my body for the first time. The next day when I woke up, it was very difficult to operate because every single little thing that I would consume or even think of, a bad thought would cause me a physical pain. So when I went downstairs, I remember seeing my wife, and as soon as I had a thought that was unpure or just simply negative or not true, I had a physical pain that went right away in my stomach, meaning my way of thinking that I had programmed, the way that I had programmed my mind, my brain or whatever, to think because I was confused all these years, it made it so that it had reaction that would cause it itself harm. And to me, what that spoke is that the universe, God, Mother, whatever is sustaining us, gives us everything we want. So if we are miserable and we wake up miserable, you're going to get a pain for that, and it's going to make you more miserable. And it does it out of love, like out of, this is what you attract. The law of attraction, like the secret thing. Yeah, sure. That day I believed it a whole lot because I couldn't believe that my thoughts. So I was very disconnected for the next 2 weeks or so because, first of all, I would only eat things that I knew for sure were not going to give me any type of pain because I was so fragile. And I remember going to an integration circle and I explained my thing, and the lady that was hosting it got concerned, like, hey, you're not supposed to feel pain for like so long kind of thing, and told her not to worry. It's part of the process and part of my journey. But yeah, what an interesting journey for that one anyways, because after that I still continued doing cannabis ceremony, and because I was now really believing, I remember doing a Wim Hof breathing, very intense because I was feeling very down, and just thinking of Mother, meaning the higher, the greater, it'd be God or whatever, but something greater, something that was taking care of me, that was supposed to, not supposed, that is on the daily, looking after me and just giving me exactly what I want, good or bad, because all it wants to do is love me and provide for me so that I can grow in my spirituality and in the whatever purpose of God, that He set for me. And that night, that ceremony was so powerful that for a full 40 minutes I was breathing really hard, holding my breath, going into Sapa world, but concentrating on my third eye, very focused for 40 minutes where I did not deviate. I did not look away. And the reason I did that is because at the beginning, when I started doing the Wim Hof breathing and I was thinking that my awareness was in my third eye because of a few experiences of the past, I kept looking at my third eye, but my eyes would deviate. They would go down. Even when I internally, as I would close my eyes and look at that spot in my awareness, I would tend to look away or get distracted. And I was like, what's going on? why can't I look at my third eye for a long period of time? And I started to breathe and to cry and to look. And at one point, I started screaming to myself internally, look at you, look at myself, look, like, what are you doing? Like, look at yourself. And I cried, and I looked up at my third eye, and I was able to sustain, and I stayed there. And I continued for like the next 40 minutes. The next day when I woke up and I got to work, I was able to look at myself, first of all, in the mirror, like more comfortably, where before, if I looked at the mirror, it was disappointment or ugliness, or I would look for things that I would try to maybe fix. So if I had a hair at the wrong place, or you know what I mean? And super unhealthy. Now I looked up and I could stare in my own eyes forever. And it was the same with my coworkers, and it was the same in meetings. And I felt super awkward because I could look at people without feeling any shame, because I was able to look at myself for the first time. And I realized as well that since that day, I never noticed, but when I closed my eyes and I would try to picture myself, you know, if you try to picture your own face or whatever, I was never able to. But after that day, I could see the edge of like, okay, I know what I look like. And that to me was as well very weird and confusing. Like, wow, I never wanted to look at myself with my true awareness because of the dislike of my body, because as the awareness, as the observer of this reality, the work that we're doing with Mother is basically a joint effort, right? So the pain that she's feeling, well, the pain that the body is feeling, or the pain that you are perceiving, is your feelings. The pains, the body, supposedly, and I have this feeling that the body is always in a state of bliss, and us, the awareness, get confused by the feelings that we are experiencing. We think, oh, that's the tip of our finger, because we have been accustomed to feel that, but it's all an illusion, you know? They can go inside your brain and just press a few buttons and you're going to feel all sorts of things, or see visions, or, you know, same with when you take DMT or whatever. So I believe that this thing is an entire illusion, and it was really amazing to connect again. Like, now I had the breathing from my heart, I had the awareness of the body, like truly, and I had the awareness of my third eye, of like the here and now, and looking at myself and an understanding that everything lives in that little circle. All of my feelings, all of my thoughts, all of everything lives and dies like there, like my illusion. But the heart plays a part because it's a triangle. The third eye is not inside your head. It's in front of you, like, I don't know, half a meter or something like that, and your heart is at the same place. So when you think of your third eye and you really focus on your third eye, imagine your heart being there. That's you. And when you're able to connect the third eye and your heart a meter away from you and project it, it's insane how amazing it is. It's one of my frustration right now, is when I have to go to work, it takes me away from that practice. And when I'm 8 hours away at work not practicing, when I come back, it's super hard to return to it, as if, you know, I don't want to, I would rather watch TV or do something else. But that night was magical because it really showed me how the body, my third eye, the fact that I didn't like myself, my muscle, what I eat, every single thing has a purpose in my life. Everything I see. And also, when I did that and I would project my true soul outwards, I would see strangers. I could, and that one I still, I'm integrating it. Sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated because I am having so much trouble doing the story I'm telling you, because you lose it and then you have to return to it. But I want to share that story because I want to go back to it so bad. So when you look half a meter away with your heart and your third eye, and you see yourself in others, there's a love that blossoms inside your heart, because my imagination and creativity super quickly was able to see all of the shit that I dislike about the person I'm seeing, and I could see myself with all of those traits. Like seriously, I could see my face with like that nose, and just imagine how it felt, and having an understanding of, you know, how I feel, and I just fell in love with all strangers. Before, I had a shame. If I would look at a woman because I would find her beautiful, that would give me so much shame, be, because it's inappropriate. And but I know like the rules of society, meaning if you're good looking, you can look at a girl, you know, and she's not going to get too much offense because you look good. And if you're ugly, but unfortunately you're going to look like a creep or somebody, you know, it's the rules are the rules because of DNA and biology. And man, it's cool. Like, it's not your body, right? You have to be there for it. So even when it gets super horny, blah, 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 doesn't matter. But basically, now when I would look at a woman, I would have like such an honor about it that I could see her entire beauty, think like, wow, like even before that, I always respected, I grew up with girls. My dad was working a lot. So I respect girls a lot, but not but the I would look at a girl, see her entire beauty, not be ashamed of it, because I would see myself in it, and I would think, I don't know, like it just made sense. I'm gonna have to really dig in more into that one. But I remember walking and doing my shame resilience practice, which is walking and moving my arms, and like even sometimes doing lunge, and not being afraid to work out as I'm walking in public, to keep my body in a good way, like the Ido Portal way. I don't know if you know Ido Portal. He's a movement specialist. Man, love that guy, and I do that when I walk. I did that all summer, this shame resilience thing. So that was pretty cool. So let's move on to another little journey that I had that was very significant in last summer. So everything that I'm talking about happened this year. One of them was I was doing cannabis ceremony, go walking, no shirt to get my vitamin D, practice shame resilience. I would do my movement of stretching my arms and, you know, being exaggerating movement to really give my body a nice little workout slash movement mobility thing, while looking in people's eyes and saying hi and really loving them with the, you know, what I had just learned, and doing good. Because the as much as the journey with the mushroom was insane and traumatic, not traumatic, it was relieving, but extreme, to say the least. The awareness of the body, I was so blessed and I felt so grateful. So as I was walking, I remember feeling frustration that morning, and it was not bothering me, but it was there. And I was just parking it on the side, saying like, no, I'm better than you almost. I feel great. I'm aware of this body. I'm aware of my mind. I'm with Mother. I see you frustration, but I'm not going to pay attention to you. And that was the wrong mistake. Like, that was a mistake. So as I was walking, I could feel the frustration kind of wanting to come in as an other, as if they were not my thought. And when I turned around internally in my awareness and looked at it, I saw that it was my warrior that was frustrated. Life was not fair. What you saw this morning and made you angry, and you're still not looking at it. So now I remembered that warrior is not me. So I brought him into my awareness and I said, I am so sorry, dude. Here's my entire space, like in my entire mind, heart and soul. Go fucking crazy. Destroy the entire place. You got the run of the mill. I said, you go. And when I did that, that monkey, that gorilla, that monster started destroying everything in my brain. It felt like it was knocking on every side of my head, up and down, and just breaking shit. And when I let him go in, I started to cry openly, meaning now I'm in my own neighborhood, walking in a park where there's a lot of people, and I'm crying like a baby with no shirt, and I'm doing the breathing of an experience, because I know I'm going through an experience and I am not stopping it. I am allowing that monkey to go fucking crazy, and I'm crying and I'm walking, and I have a goal. I want to get to the end of the path so that I can do my prayer and come back. But I can't stop crying. It feels good, and I'm really being aware of that monkey monster destroying shit. And as I was walking and crying, a joker came in, which totally caught me off guard. And he was burning shit around, like the Joker from the Batman almost. The one that just did not care to die, hurt himself, have fun with that monster monkey destroying everything. And I started to laugh, cry. So now I was crying openly with a big smile on my face. And when people were walking past me, I just looked straight up, that half a meter spot, with my awareness of my third eye and my heart. And I stayed there until I got to the end of the path, took a deep breath, I prayed, and it was amazing. I thought that I had healed, but now that I'm recording this, I'm realizing no. But thank you for reminding me. Thank you, Mother. That was awesome. Actually, that was a good day. I remember that. So because of that, I was getting really strong in my confidence, I guess. Like it was such a confidence booster to just start shame resilience practice on the daily, like I'm doing on my YouTube video, or even here, like to put my heart and my soul into what I'm saying, and not, just tell the truth, like with my heart. Like the details sometimes get confused. A story is a story, but it's it's such an integration. It's so good. So now I had planned another trip with some friends. And when I got there, I did some LSD and some cannabis. And the most magical thing happened. Because of the group and because of the love that was happening, and I had just met this group, and I thought that I had met this group because I was doing so great, because I had done so much release, because I was letting the warrior and the joker fucking go insane inside my awareness, and I was allowing life to pass through me with all of its good and all of its down, and I was here and now for it. I would not think of the future. I would not think of the past. Oh yeah, and I gotta talk about that. When I started this practice of being here and now, and I kind of committed to it because I was so low, it was the weirdest feeling. For the first 2 weeks, being here and now was the most boring, long thing I've ever done in my life. And I was not watching videos. I was just listening to music and being here and now. And I was doing a lot of cannabis ceremonies, so I was high. And I was doing a lot of, Wim Hof breathing to go to Sapoland. But the first 2 weeks of doing the dishes, being with my wife, being with my children, even smoking a joint, time slowed down to a stretch. But I guarantee you, if you continue with this practice for, like I said, the first 2 weeks was not good. But after the second week, everything started to go on the up and up. And even like when I was growing the mushrooms, I was here and now. And when I did those mushrooms, and it kicked my ass, but really gave me the awareness of the body that I so desired and needed for the growth of my spirituality. I really believe that here and now allowed me to be able to get through these experiences. And like I said, like I'm not thinking of the future or the past, and it feels great because, and I'm going to talk about it right now, because with this awareness of the body, when you are here and now, and let's say you take a deep breath in and you hold at the top and you let go, whatever the stress, whatever the anxiety, whatever the panic that is coming over you, when you surrender to that feeling, it becomes a hum, as if you're high on the mushroom or even cannabis, and it's a bliss, and it turns into a bliss. The paradox all this time showed me that fucking after fucking 38 years of life thinking that my anxiety was anxiety. I mean, I got white hair because of this. Like I stayed skinny because of this. It's insane how much it messed up anyways. I'm just a little bit negative now. I'm gonna take control. Mother, give me the strength and the love to go through this experience with my podcaster friends. So anyways, the paradox was that all of this anxiety, even like loud noises or chaotic scenes, it's a bliss if you look at it the right way. If you are completely aware and you open up your heart and your third eye and you look a meter away and you make believe that all of your feelings in your entirety of your life lives there, and you look at it, it opens up your feelings to just be, no matter what they are. And Ram Dass talks about it during his lecture. There's a baby that cries, or there's a loud car that passes, and he says that's free energy. I love it. It goes from the bottom of the spine all the way up, and it gives me shivers. And it's true. If you are here and now and your heart is open, and by the way, heart opening is actually heart opening. There's a physical thing that happens, and I was not aware of that as well, that when the heart opens, it really feels full. And I think there's liquid or whatever that fills up. I don't know. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but I know the feeling, and it feels like it's full. And when energy passes through you, when you are in that state, meaning you're here and now, you're really focusing on that spot. I'm telling you, basically, you can do it your own way, but being present, meaning the awareness of your body, and awareness of your mind, meaning control, silent mind, where it's not talking and it's not judging, it's here and now, and it's looking. The way that I do it for practice the first 2 weeks was really to observe and to hear. So using really your eyes and your ear on, like, moment by moment, and keeping there. And of course the trick of taking a deep breath, saying I am love, or setting your frequency and breathing out. So your breath becomes everything. Everything is your breath. So every single breath is so magical when you're here and now and you are in a state of bliss. That's such a paradox, and it got me so frustrated at the beginning, and it still catches me, because if you are here and now, it means you have free time, and or you're very well, you've got a lot of practice to do here and now, even at work. But I'm finding it very difficult to not think of the future or the past when doing tasks that are important for somebody else, for money or whatever it may be. So it's catching me all the time, and the more I'm at work, the less I've got time to practice the here and now, and the more difficult it is. Just like Jordan Peterson said, it's not efficient for our body to think of gratefulness. That's the basic. To do spirituality, it's hard work to a certain extent. It takes practice. The greats really practice it all the time, unless, which I would love to talk to him about that, but Eckhart Tolle, the way that he awakened, again, through mental health, and it was so instant. I don't know if you know his story, but it's incredible. He was so depressed that his awareness and his body decided to disconnect, because the body couldn't take it anymore, and said, fuck you, I'm kicking you out. And his awareness got kicked out of his body, and he saw everything in a new light, and he felt the bliss, because the it takes you being confused with the body for you to feel suffering when you really are, like what Ron Dass talks about, when you take that breath and you do that connection with your heart and your third eye, or whatever you do. Maybe you think of God. I don't know. People have their different method, but my method is this. It's very physical, and that's such a paradox. You become one. You feel like your head disappears. I close my eyes and it feels like I become headless, and the awareness just expands forever. And there's a feeling of, and I could stay here forever. It feels, during my learnings, I was I listened to the Taoism, the Tao Te Ching, whatever, and it blew my mind, because I was practicing the here and now, and when I listened to those paradoxes, I was like, yeah, I understand. That's crazy. So that guy that wrote this was Silent Mind. He was one, I guess, with the Tao, and he says, yeah, the Tao is everything. Tao is God. Tao is Mother. Tao is whatever, but it's that one force that you look up to, and you surrender and have faith, and all those words to practice letting go of this place. This entire journey feels like a practice for dying, in a way. Maybe that's why they say that in Catholic, I do, but it's not like there's always going to be forgiveness, and God is made out of love. There is no punishment. The only punishment is from yourself, in my belief. And of course, I do not know anything, and this is the way it has to be. So that was a good way to finish it. Thank you so much for listening. This integration, especially this one today, was really cool. I had not forgotten, but I had, because I wrote down, but I had forgotten the story of when I let the big monster and the Joker loose, how I was practicing the here and now with my heart and my third eye and the half a meter. Winter really is limiting my practice to go and COVID, oh my God, to see people and to practice the spirituality. So integration is what we will do. So I really appreciate you guys listening. My name is Do, my body is Dom, and this is Monkey and Frank. I love you guys. See ya.